YouTube, what's going on? Hey, happy Friday. So it's 2 I'm back. Guess what? We're gonna make some coconut oil today. What? I hope you guys are excited because I'm excited to show you guys. I've never actually gone through a tutorial, but I'll do my best to be diligent, thorough, and most of all respectful of people's time and speed. If you guys get lost or whatever, rewind, watch it again, you'll be fine, okay? It's not that complicated, it's not that hard, it just has a lot of steps, and it's important that we follow the steps one by one. So, I've partially done some of the work for you guys just to make it easier and save some time, but you'll see every step of the way what you need to do in order to make coconut oil at home, okay? Couple things you need. Brown, mature coconuts. You can get these from anywhere, wherever, grocery stores you can get them. I get them for about $1.30 when they're not on sale. When they're on sale, they're about $1. So depending on how much coconut oil you want to make, maybe get anywhere from, to start I would say get maybe 2 or 3, and then once you get more comfortable with gauging how much you need and get more comfortable with it, you can make more, but it comes out with a good amount. So you need mature brown coconuts. You need something to crack the coconuts because all coconuts have a very tough skin. So what I have is this. It's a meat cleaver. So the water here is because, like I said, I've already opened 1 or 2 coconuts before, just before I made this video. This is a meat cleaver. Again, you can get this for about $15 to $20, depending on if there's accessories or Kitchen Plus or some type of a store. Look up for this. If you don't have a meat cleaver, it's not the end of the world. I got this recently, about 2 months ago, so the meat cleaver itself, if you don't have it, you can always improvise. What I was doing for the longest time, sometimes I like to work on make my own solution, so what I did is I took a flathead screwdriver, and I actually used the flathead screwdriver and I put it like this. The coconut lines are like this, so if you crack along this way, it's gonna cause a fracture on the shell, and then you can open the coconut. So if you really need to, you can always put a flathead right against this, use a second coconut and put it against the ground, hit it, and you should be able to crack it. But that really is a little bit trickier to do and just safer. I would recommend getting some type of a meat cleaver, okay? So what I have here is a Perry knife. If you have a Perry knife or some type of a potato peeler knife, it's cool. So what I'm going to do here is, this has plastic on it. I'm going to actually take off this plastic for you to show you guys how I go through the process and steps of doing this. Now, a lot of people don't know how to properly open a coconut, so I'm going to show you guys the easiest and the best way to properly open a coconut. Every coconut is going to have the same shape. It's going to look like this. It's going to have 3 holes at the top, like a bowling ball pin type of holes for your, I guess, fingers. So here's the trick. Perry knife. One of these 3 holes is always going to be the weak spot, okay? It's always going to be soft and delicate and fragile. So a lot of people, when they open the coconut, they hit it here and then the water comes out. They try to salvage it with a bowl. It's cool, but this is easier. So what you want to do, or what I like to do, is I like to use a Perry knife or some type of knife and poke through the holes very gently to see which one of these 3 is more of a fragile hole. And eventually, I'll do it here with you guys can see. There you go, see? So my knife is now gone in this hole. I'm going to try to poke this one. I'm actually applying a lot of liberal force. I'm not getting anything. I'm going to try to push in here. It's not going in. I'm trying. This one though, when I push in here, you hear that? Okay? So now what you have is you have this little tunnel to dig in the coconut. So what's going to happen is just put your knife in, turn it around, kind of like you're scooping out ice cream or scooping out the ends. You see? And what you're going to do, if you can see here, is I'm just taking out a little bit of the meat piece by piece, okay? Second, I'll show you guys a little bit closer here so you can see. So there you go. There you go. Where is it? Right here. Okay? You see? Now you can see inside the hole. So you want to take a good minute and diligently, oh, you see? That was the air coming out of the coconut. Just scrape around and keep scraping around. And then eventually you see that? Perfect little hole. And you'll know you've hit the sweet spot when you've actually carved your way into a nice black hole, which is what I like to call it. So once you can, there you go. See, if you'll see what I'm doing. I'm just using the knife to scrape out. There you go. Ta-da! Right? So now this here you can just drink it like this, okay? I'm not gonna drink it right now, but basically, and then I have this. This is the leftover coconut water that I opened 3 coconuts so far. This one I wanted to show on camera how to open it so you guys can get a sense of how to open it. But, right? And you're not wasting any drops, you're not wasting any coconut at all. And this juice is so good. Water actually has amazing electrolytes. It's very hydrating for you. One of these a day will keep you very healthy and active. Okay, how to open a coconut. My suggestion, again, this is where viewer discretion. I mean, I would advise you to please be careful because I don't want anybody to get hurt. That's not what I'm making this tutorial. I find the easiest way to open the actual coconut. Now, the water's out, so you don't have to worry about it splashing everywhere. Generally, the equator or the belly of the coconut, what I'm going to do is the meat cleaver. This is the sharp part. I'm not going to use the sharp part. I'm going to use the dull part, which is the back of the meat cleaver here, okay? When you get a meat cleaver, my suggestion is to get one that's welded together already with steel. You're going to see different types of meat cleavers, ones that have a wooden handle, and then you can see the metal welding, and then it's stuck together. But I don't trust that because you never know, the handle might pop off or over time might wear, and that could cause. So this is a really good meat cleaver in my opinion. So what you're going to do is, again, take the coconut and you're going to just give it a really hard whack right in the middle. The one thing I want to advise anybody is don't hold the coconut in the palm of your hand. I learned this the hard way. What happened is when you crack it, the impact, the shell's going to crack and your skin's going to get pinched. And then you're going to have a really sharp, intense pain, and your skin will probably either, you have to pull it out, or it could be painful. So please, do not hold the coconut flat in your hand like this. When you hold it as if you're holding a fine glass of wine, or you know, something very delicate, but not. So I'm going to do my best to show you guys how it looks when I crack it over. So remember, just a really hard whack and you should get it. If not one, not two. Also, what I like to do, I'll turn this way for you. What I also like to do is to turn it as I'm hitting it, right? So I don't want to hit it in the same spot over and over again. I'm not actually hitting it yet, I just want to show you guys. But what I'm doing is I'm gently whacking it as I'm hitting it. So normally I do it in about 3 or 4 hits. We'll see how it goes. Again, first time I've done this on camera, so here it goes, okay? There you go. You heard that? Boom. And what do we have here? Beautiful, beautiful hollowed out coconut. Look how delicious and thick that meat is. I love this. It's amazing. So step 1, you now have the coconut cracked, okay? What you need to now do is extract the meat, because you're going to extract the oil from this meat. I would recommend what I have here. You can use a paring knife, but this is very flimsy. So if you try to scoop it out, you might hurt yourself or it might break. I wouldn't recommend this. I would use, so I have an old, I guess, pocket knife. What happened is the end of the pocket knife broke off, the blade. But the actual blade is thick, so I find this is really good to actually scoop out the coconut. I would suggest, once you have it broken down like this, actually, to maybe put on the floor and hit along the back here. What you're going to do is you're going to want to break this half shell into more quarter-sized pieces, maybe a little bit bigger, and I have a few here to show you. So once you crack this, it's going to look something like this, right? The nice thing about doing it like this versus this is really hard to scoop out the meat, especially in the middle. This is easier because you have pressure points where you can actually exert with the knife or the Perry switchblade or something, and you can actually cause it to open up. So if I could show you really quickly here. So what I like to do again is you could use any type of a knife, and you're going to just put it in here at the ends here. Sorry, let me just show you here. You're going to put it here at the end here, and essentially what you're going to try to do is to wedge the blade between the coconuts. Sorry, can't. Guys, my apologies if anybody can't see. It's really hard to do this while I'm. Okay, so what you want to do is wedge the knife behind it and sort of, you see? And what happens? Whoops. Nice. What happens is you have a clean piece of coconut right here, and this is what the shell looks like. So you don't have to worry about any pieces being left over. And again, same thing you want to do is you want to just, let me see here. There you go. See, you heard that crack? That was that whole piece coming off. Please be really careful when you're doing this. I really don't want anybody to get hurt. It's not nice to get hurt. It's not nice when anybody gets injured. So please be extra careful. This is why I advised or mentioned previously that it's a lot of work, right? But it does pay off. It's like it pays off. It's a lot of fun to make it, but it is a lot of work. So anyways, step one, you have this, okay? Step two, you're gonna try to get as much coconut as you can, and then you have these pieces. Now the next thing you need is some type of a cutting board. Take your machete, and you're going to want to sort of dice. You're going to want to dice the pieces of coconuts so you have them till they're about this big. Okay? So ideally you want them about this big, because what you're going to do next is going to actually blend these pieces in a blender or some type of a fruit mixer, because you're going to want to then cream this to get coconut cream. Okay? So this is ideally what you should be left with, and remember, this is what's left, and I just chopped this up on a cutting board, and then we're left with this. So that's all for right now. What I'm going to do now is just pause the video here, and I'm going to then resume so you guys can see how I blend this and what steps I take to blend it, so then you can actually do this yourself. From this step on, the next step you need, the things you need, I'm not saying ingredients, but what you need is you need a blender, a food processor, something that can puree foods, and you need some lukewarm to not hot, but lukewarm water, and you need a big bowl, okay? So that's what you need for the next step. Now, stay tuned. Just give me a few minutes here while I set up, and we're going to continue from here, okay? Thank you for watching. I hope you guys like it so far. Stay tuned, okay? The fun part's coming up. It's 2 Pape, I'm back. Okay, so now we're actually in phase 2. What I have here is shredded, well not shredded, but chopped coconut. I have some bits left over, which I'm going to do later, but just to show you guys, show everyone what's going on. I have some bits of coconut here. I have my blender. I don't have the actual lid, but this is, I'm going to use just to cover it. And in here, I have some hot water, okay? So what I like to do, and I would advise you guys to do the same, or suggest everyone to do the same, is pour a little bit of hot water in here. Not so much. And then you're going to just add some coconut. Like so. Okay? You don't want to add too much at once. There you go. It's a good amount. Just on top, and just blend it through. I like to use just a low blend to start with, but eventually you do want to puree. Okay? I have it on the maximum setting. Don't worry about pureeing it too much. At the end of the day, it's not about how big these pieces are left over. You just want to extract all the moisture and liquid from this coconut. So I'm just going to repeat this again with the exact same thing. Add some more water. Remember, moderate how much water is in the jug here with respect to how much coconut. You don't want to stress out your blade or your actual motor on your blender. So I'm going to just do the same thing again. Perfect. And do the same thing one last time with the rest of this coconut here really quickly. This is the easiest step in my opinion. Just add a little bit more water here. Now if you have more coconut than, like if you have shredded a lot of coconut, do it in sets of 2, because don't try to stuff it all in one blender. You can always come back and repeat the same process with more coconut here. So let's finish this up. Okay, so that wasn't too bad, pretty quick. Wonderful, great. Now here's what we're going to do. You need a bowl, okay? Some type of a big bowl, like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually put all this in the bowl, okay? So, let's go right in, like so. There you go. And what you should have is something that looks like this. I hope everyone can see. And basically, it's the bits of coconut, which I've just blended up with the hot water. I would like to add a little bit more water so you can actually get comfortable with this, because what you're going to be doing is washing this coconut meat, okay? So once you've added the water, you should have a consistency that's pretty watery. It shouldn't be too thick, it shouldn't be too watery, but it should be a pretty fairly good consistency. From here, what we're going to do is you're going to leave it like this. Let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes, okay? Once you let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes, the water will cool down and the the oil will start to secrete from the actual coconut bits. So the next step we're going to do is actually wash the coconut, which means you're going to go like this and wash the coconut, okay? Washing the coconut stimulates all the oils to come out, and it's going to cause all the maximum, you get the maximum results when it comes to washing the coconut. So remember, just wash the coconut like this, okay? Keep washing it, and then basically for a good 5 to 10 minutes, you're going to keep washing the coconut, okay? Once you wash the coconut, the next step, what we're going to do is we're going to actually strain the coconut. Now, I just mixed this, so I'm going to leave it for about 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to come back and continue the video. At that point, you guys are going to be able to see what we do is what we cream the coconut, so we get coconut cream, okay? But from here, I hope everyone can see, this is basically where we need to be at up until this point, okay? So you guys stay tuned with me, and I'll be right back, and we're going to actually cream the coconut. Thanks again for watching. Hold on. What's up, guys? Okay, so we're back. So it's been about maybe 30 minutes, and now, as you can see, I finished blending the rest of the coconut, pureeing it down into smaller bits, right? And I've let this sit here, and I've washed it out like I was telling you guys how I've done it. So essentially, like I said, it's just to rub it, stimulate it for about 5 to 10 minutes. So once you've done that, what we're going to do now is we're going to actually cream the coconut. From this, what you eventually need is some type of a face cloth, or some type of a cloth that has a thin fabric where you're going to actually squeeze out the remainder of the coconut that you can't do it by hand, okay? So I'm not going to do both of these right now because I want to keep this video pretty straightforward. I just want to give you guys an example of how I do this. So basically, again, once you're done washing, what you want to do is just strain out, squeeze really hard with your hands, okay? As hard as you can. And then what you're going to have left is the pulp, I guess. You're just going to have a container. It's the same container which I had the grits in before. And I'm just going to repeat this. Okay? Remember, you want to squeeze as hard as you can. Don't strain your hands, okay? But do, squeeze. The more you can get out, the better it is. Okay. It smells really good. I can actually smell the cream of the coconut, and it just smells very nice and fresh and clean. Okay. You can see. I'm almost done here. If you guys would like, what sometimes also I'd recommend is if you have a strainer of some sort, you can always use a strainer to scoop out the remainder little bits which you can't get by hand, because once you get towards the very end, it gets very hard to catch the little bits of coconut bits, and basically you want to get all the bits out, okay? So just wash this in here. Great. Okay, now once you're finished with this and you have only the cream left, no more coconut bits, you just have the cream left, what you're then going to do is put aluminum foil or something, some type of a cover, and you're going to cover this, okay? Don't airtight cover it so it's air sealed, the air is sealed or it's airtight so there's no air coming out. Do leave a little bit of, let enough air in that it's covered but it's not sealed, okay? And that's basically the last step that you go through before actually extracting the coconut. So I'm going to finish this up. Just now, but I'm not going to keep the video going because it's pretty boring to watch me do the same thing over and over again. For the night, I'm going to let this rest. Now it's important to understand that once you've creamed the coconut, this cream needs to rest at room temperature for about 10 to 12 hours. So right now it's about maybe going on 10 o'clock at night, maybe 9:30, 10, I'm not sure exactly what time it is. But basically I'm going to just leave these. Tomorrow morning I'm going to wake up and continue the video from here, and then that is actually when we're going to actually record cooking the coconut oil and extracting the coconut oil from the cream. So that's the best part, that's the most fun part that I like doing the most. The hardest part is the first part, which is extracting the coconuts. This is pretty straightforward. So again, I'm going to finish this up. Remember, 10 to 12 hours, let it sit at room temperature. And what you're going to notice once you open it, and I'll show you guys tomorrow, is it's going to be hardened at the top. So there's going to be like a calcified cream type of shell over it, which is the actual cream. This is the same stuff that you get if you go to the store and you buy coconut cream, but it's not pure. This is 100% pure. So this is the same type of cream that you can cook with this cream too. At this point, you don't have to use it for oil. You can use it for cooking or whatever you like. Anyways, that's all for tonight, for today. Thanks for watching. You guys have a good night. I'll touch base with you guys tomorrow, and then we're gonna make some awesome coconut oil, okay? Have a good night, guys. Okay, so one more thing I want to show you guys before I go to bed. So you see I had two bowls. I had both coconut cream, the water and the bits in both, and I was creaming them out. I'm done creaming out both the bowls. So what I have left here now is just pure coconut cream. So I really want to emphasize this part. You need a strainer of some sort like this, okay? Have one bowl. Once you're done using your hands to scrape it as much as you can, you're gonna have the little black bits, like bits of, that's going to be from the shell of the coconut, the skin of it, okay? So have somebody help you, or if you can, use this and then pour it out, and what's gonna happen is all the bits are gonna collect, then strain that out, pour it, keep doing it back and forth 4 or 5 times, and what you're gonna have left is this nice white milky coconut cream, okay? This is what your end product should be. Clear and white. If it's any other color, or if it's brown, or if it still looks a little bit dusty, keep filtering through it, or I'm not sure. It should look like this if you've followed through with what I've been following through, okay? So now I'm going to cover this with foil, and I'm going to let it sit for about 10 to 12 hours as I mentioned before. Just want to quickly show you guys some type of a strainer or a filter, something that's more fine and coarse. The more finer the strainer is, I think the easier it will be to catch more bits. You see, I still have a little bit of these black, that's fine, it's nothing, but essentially you're looking at pure delicious coconut cream, okay? So I'll see you guys real soon tomorrow, and we're going to make this into delicious coconut oil. Good night, guys. Hey, good morning, everyone, and thanks for watching again. So it's now the next morning. You guys remember this red bowl with the coconut cream which we creamed out yesterday, and I told everyone to leave it for about 10 to 12 hours. So that's where we are right now. I have the stove on. I have a medium-sized pot, okay? Now what we're going to do from this point is I have a butter knife for a steak knife here, a butter knife, and what we're going to do is just cut this in pieces and then use some type of a spatula to take out this cream here, okay? So very gently, you can watch us doing this, you see? As I start to glide along the top, see that? Okay? Think of like a thick, almost like a cream, see? As I'm doing this. The idea is to not get any of the water underneath this because we don't need it. It's the stuff at the top that's more important, okay? So now I'm going to try and scoop this out as best as I can. There you go. Okay, and we're going to go right in the water. In terms of temperature, you want to keep the pot at a medium low. Okay, and make sure you drain out all this water here. Okay, so we're just going to repeat the same process. Okay. There we go. So basically from here what we're going to do is actually just cook this cream. Okay? We're going to cook this cream until it is coconut oil. And what's going to happen is as this cream starts to cook, the coconut oil is actually going to rise to the top. And you will actually begin to see it happen. Okay? Now this is just the first step. So from here it's going to take maybe about half an hour. You have to really keep stirring it and watching it carefully, okay? But you'll notice, you see how it's all white now? Well, not white, but it's more of a mucky, it's not see-through. As it gets older, or as it gets more cooked through, you're going to start to see more and more of this change into the actual oil. So I'm not going to actually record the whole video while I'm cooking this because that will take, like I said, about half an hour. But I wanted to just start in the first steps here and show you guys as much as I can right now. Okay, almost got it. Look at this. I have a few more left here. That's it. Remember, try to get as much of this white cream as you can without actually needing this bottom water, that's a leftover residue. You don't need this residue, you can throw it out. If anybody's wondering what to do with the coconut shavings, I don't need them right now, so I didn't keep them, but you can always feed those to animals. If you have squirrels or raccoons or anything in the backyard or in the park, they love that coconut, the grit that's left over. Or you can use it for cooking too. Dried coconut bits, you can make a lot of cool things with those and delicious recipes with those. Great. So, this is leftover junk. Don't need this anymore. Okay? Great. Okay. Great. So, in terms of the heat, I have it at about right there. So just past the halfway point. Enough that it's boiling, but it's not actually it's not boiling at a high temperature. So you do want to keep it readily boiling and readily bubbling, and then eventually all the coconut, the oil is going to start to secrete at the top and go from there. So from here, again, I would recommend keep stirring it every few seconds, let it keep bubbling, okay? And what I'm going to do is resume the video in about 15 minutes when more of the coconut has risen to the top, the oil, and just as I'm getting closer to finishing the product off at the end. Okay? So it looks like now. But as you can see, it's already starting to change a little bit, right? So bear with me, I'll be back, okay guys? So just hold on. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes so far since the last recording. So as you can see, the water or the liquid at the top is starting to separate from the actual solidified parts, and that at the top is the coconut oil starting to actually show itself. So this is just an update. Now from here it should probably take about maybe 5 to 10 more minutes, and it should be ready to go, because this is not a lot of coconut oil. This is just a very little amount. I just want to show the steps so everyone's aware of how to make it. The key thing to keep in mind here, very, very important, the bits of grit that's left over, this bit cannot be, has to be fully cooked and separated from the actual oil. If this grit has any pieces of, it has to be fully cooked. If it's white, like if you still see that it's white in color, that means you still need to keep cooking, okay? Because if you leave any white pieces or any white colored pieces in here, that is actually air pockets, and the air pockets is then going to cause your oil to go bad, and it's going to cause it to get mold, okay? And that's going to ruin your oil for you. So the idea here is to cook it until they're about brown, not dark brown, but just slightly colored brown, okay? So I'm almost done here. I just need to let this cook for a few more minutes, and then I'm going to put the final product when I'm going to extract this from the bowl so you can see what the leftover product is, okay? Once it's cooked, I'm going to let it cool down for about 5 to 10 minutes because it's very hot. And once it's cooked, then I can extract that, and that's the coconut oil. So just the next video will be the last one. So one second. Great. So you see it's starting to get brown. It's getting a little bit brown. We're going to go ahead and turn this off now. Great. Now the coconut oil is done cooking. All we need to do is let it cool down for a few minutes, and then we can extract the actual coconut. The oil is everything at the top. See, it's still bubbling hot, so it's going to take a minute for it to cool down, but once it cools down, it should be fine. You see these? They're not white anymore, they're more of a brownie color. That's exactly where you want it to be. A couple things I want to mention. Because you're making the coconut oil yourself, you're going to notice that you're going to have to play around with the cooking times, because it varies depending on how many coconuts you're making. Basically how coarse you want the coconut. So I'm just going to take this off the heat now, and I'll be following up just now. Okay, so this is the final product. You see? At the bottom is the browned grits, and at the top is the coconut oil. What we're going to do from here, or what I like to do, is I like to use some type of a strainer or something to catch it. Have the strainer here, and we're just going to extract this oil so you can see exactly what it looks like, okay? Hold on 1 second. Doing this one hand, hopefully I don't drop any. Oops. Hold on guys. I use this so it's easier. Still a little bit hot, but I want to show you guys before I forget. Okay. As for these grits, you can throw them out or you can eat them if you like. It's a very acquired taste, so if you don't like gritty coconut flavor, don't eat it. But I tried it, I like it, it's good. Not for everyone, okay? So once all this oil is strained out, you see how much more comes out? So if you want to just hold it there for a minute, let it all strain out. Once that's done, go ahead and remove this here. And then, let's go ahead and put this. So, wow, look at that. There you go, folks. Okay, 100% pure virgin coconut oil. It feels so good. I tried some. Look at that. Oh, so moisturizing, nourishing, smells like heaven. It's great. You see a little bit. Very potent, very concentrated. You can put this in a glass jar of some sort and you're good to go. So that's my tutorial on how to make coconut oil. I know it's lengthy, I know it has a lot of steps, but again, hard work pays off. So if you guys are interested in making your own coconut oil, please follow my steps. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave me your comments, your feedback, your thoughts. If you have any suggestions, if you need any help or anything, please send me a message. You guys know where I am, and I'll be more than happy to respond back to you at my earliest opportunity, okay? So thanks again for watching. Please subscribe, please share my videos, and have fun making coconut oil, alright? I promise you guys, once you start making it yourself, you will not want to stop. Okay? Enjoy your weekend, folks, and please stay tuned for my next video. Bye.